Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel. In this video we are going to talk about Vertex Painting and how to use it with the Megascans. This is one of the simplest things that I've done with Megascans, but I'm just going to show you how it's done because it's not out there and it's something super simple to do, and it will really enhance whatever mesh and whatever asset you're trying to work with. Now, one thing about this blending material and Vertex Painting is you can only vertex paint or mesh paint on a mesh. You cannot do that on a landscape. For the landscape, you'll have to use the landscape painting tool and just leave the mesh painting with a singular mesh. That's why I have a plane right here. And if you haven't used vertex painting before, you can find that under modes, mesh paint. It's called mesh paint here in Unreal. It's usually called vertex painting because you are painting on the vertices. So that's why as I put my brush on top of this mesh, you can see there's actually dots coming through. Those are the vertices of this mesh. And let's just get started. So for this, you are going to need a specific material. It has to be something called a blend material. Why? Because you need at least two materials that are in the same place in order to paint something. That's what it does. And if you can see here, what this works with is with masks. So for those who have played with Photoshop before, you know that when you paint in black, you are masking, and when you paint with white, you're actually letting through. So that's how it works. And we can also select which channel we are using because each channel is going to represent one of the materials that we have. Now I already have a material blend made right here. I'm just going to show you real quick how we make them. It's super easy. Just select one material that you want to use. So I'm just going to select let's do two so we can create a variation of that. Let's do these two. You can create two, you can create three. Creating one makes no sense, and the reason why you need three is because you have R, G, and B, but you're gonna see what happens when I only do it with two. So you click on the Megascan button and just create material. It's gonna give it a name, and it's going to create a folder here called blend materials. You can put it in another folder if you want. I'm just going to hit create, and that was it. It was that quick. It used to be that you have to create a shader yourself in order to use vertex painting, but fortunately with the Megascans, it actually does it for you. So if I go here to content, there's a blend material here. So as you can see, I already have the material that I created before, and I have the material that I created just now. So let's use the material that I just created. So I'm just going to throw it in here. And it already has some stuff on it because I've been painting a lot on this mesh. But as you can see, let me just paint the whole thing. I'm actually masking. And as you can see, if I hit the letter X, it flips between these two. So that's what you're seeing. And I'm letting another color through. So I'm actually masking all that. Actually, this is the top layer. So this gravel right here, I think it was called gravel something. This is the top layer. Now let's start looking at the channels over here. So if I uncheck this, let's see what I'm going to see. So I'm seeing there's the mossy ground that I had underneath. And if I go here, you can see that in the blue channel, we're painting with the blue channel because this is white. You can see that this thing, and I'm not painting anything here because this is the top layer, blue is the lower layer. You can see that nothing is there. The reason why this is completely white is because we don't have three materials. That's why you usually have three materials. You can have two, just be aware that if it starts painting like this, it's because you're missing one of those three materials. Okay, so I'm gonna throw the one with three materials now, and you can see what happens. Now it's no longer white. It took that third material that I have in here. So let me actually go back to neutral. And let's start painting with that material. Actually, this is what's coming through is the grass material first. I'm actually holding shift. When you hold shift, you use the inverse color of that. So if I hold shift, I paint grass. If I press the letter X, I paint grass as well. If I press the letter X again, I get rid of the grass. And if I were to, let's see, let's paint a lot here. And in the red channel is where I have stored that mud that you can see here. Let's actually take away some grass so we can show a little bit more of that mud. And that's how you do vertex painting or mesh painting on a mesh. Now, I brought this other plane in order to show you something. This plane right here, you saw that whenever I hover the brush over that plane, there were a bunch of dots. This plane is just one single polygon. Actually, if I switch from lead to brush wireframe, you're gonna see that this is pretty much one polygon or two triangles, whereas the other one was a big chunk of polygons. So it was tessellated. So that's another thing that you have to take into account is if you see that your paint is not working like it's happening with me right now, it's not wanting to paint anything, it's because vertex painting is meant to paint on vertices, and we have no vertices over here because these are just two faces. So the inside of a polygon is a face, and we don't have any vertices to paint on. This is why if you're using an asset that's really low poly, you're probably going to have trouble painting on it because it's not going to want to paint on the face, it's going to want to paint on the vertices. All right, so another thing that I want to show you before we leave this video is the parameters of the blend material. So as you can see, this is the blend material for this. The parameters are very different than what you will find on a regular material from Megascans, especially because you're not seeing like all the displacement stuff that we are used to with the other materials. But there's a couple of things that we can tweak here, and those are the displacement parameters. So I'm going to show you something that is really cool. Is we are painting on this, and so far this is just a flat plane, so we just have normals on here. But we can change that by playing with this. So let's say I'm going to increase my subdivision to 25. And I'm going to start increasing the displacement offset, and you're going to see what happens. See, we get the same displacement effect that we used to get whenever we were playing with the regular Megascan assets. So you can see, you can go crazy with this displacement, and again the grass doesn't seem to have much displacement, but the mud, soil, and the gravel one do have a little bit of displacement. Okay, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you can, please leave a comment down below and a like. That really helps out the channel. Share this video around so everybody can see how cool these Megascans are and how easy it is to use them. And I'll see you in the next video.